Hey guys, Nick here from Antigravity Batteries, and today we're going to be outfitting this Miata with one of our ATX-20 lithium batteries and mount it with a Mele design firm custom engineered mount. It's pretty trick stuff. Check it out. Alright, before we get started, here are a couple of the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a 13mm deep socket, an 11mm deep socket, assuming your tie down has the same oddball nut mine does. And of course, for any Japanese car, the good old 10mm. You may also want a 13mm here for the terminals if your terminals use that size. And then of course I have my ratchet and a extension. So here we have our Mele design custom mount specifically for the ATX-20 and also fits the ATX-12. As our bottom plate here, all of our hardware, and we've already got our ATX-20 here fully dressed with our automotive terminal adapters and equipped with one of our battery trackers. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. To service the Miata's battery, we'll go ahead and open the trunk. So here's our factory AGM battery and our tie down. I've already gone ahead and loosened this a little bit, but let's go ahead and take it off fully. Okie dokie. Next, we're going to take our 13 here and we're going to loosen the terminals. Start with the positive, then move to the negative so we don't zap ourselves. And of course, take care not to touch the wrench here to the body while we're disconnecting the positive. Alright, there's our positive off. Gives me a little bit more room to get to the 13 on our negative. Alright, now we can just pick up our 24-pound AGM battery. Now we'll take our 10mm socket here and we're going to loosen these two 10mm bolts. We can take our battery tray, set that guy aside. That's one part of the battery box. And then we're going to loosen these other two 10mm here. Alright, that's our second piece of bracketry. Alright, we've got our ATX-20, which has already been fitted with terminals and one of our battery trackers. And then we've got our 320 cca AGM battery. Both of these are fully charged. This one was manufactured in July of 2020, so it's a new battery too. So let's go ahead and get these weighed. Alright, we got our tare weight of 178.8. So now we'll take our anti-gravity battery here. $182.4 holding the anti-gravity battery and holding our AGM here. And the AGM holding that, it's 202.4. So let's do some math here real quick. That gives us a very neat, exact 20-pound difference between the two. And like I said, this is twice the output with 680 cranking amps versus just 320. I mean, 20 amp hours, the built-in restart technology, and we've equipped it with a battery tracker, and it's still 20 pounds lighter. So now let's go ahead and get our ATX-20 installed. So there we have it. We've removed our battery tray. We've got our terminals set to the side here. Now we'll go ahead and start assembling our Mele mount. Alright, let's take a look at our mounting hardware. Although we didn't mention it earlier, you will need a 5/32 hex key. Hex or Allen. These are taps that you can cut, you can drill and insert so that you can use these bolts with them on pretty much anything. This mount's fairly universal, and this plate allows you to mount in pretty much anywhere that there's a flat surface. And with anti-gravity batteries, you can mount this way, this way, this way. You can even do diagonal if you want. Alright guys, let's press on. So, we'll take our Mele bottom bracket here, and we're going to align this with a couple of our factory mounting holes. And I put in an additional hole so that I can have a little bit extra grab. Alright, there we go. Got a couple of good points of attachment. Alright, we'll take one of these hex key bolts. And don't forget, those are going to be 5/32. The nice thing about the Miata is everything is metric threaded already. So a couple of these factory mounting holes can already be used with the Mele Designs bracketry. Alrighty, and my third one over here. And I've got one more in the back that we're unfortunately not going to be able to see. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get those screwed on in. So we've got the hardware I'm using in place for now. Alright, now that we got our Mele bracket at the bottom there in, now we're going to take our battery box, like so. And see how there's 3 holes in the bottom there? We're going to align those with the 3 holes that are in the bottom of our bracket there. There we go. Take one of these short little bolts with a washer, and we're going to thread that through the bottom and into the bracket. Alright, that's one. Okay. Now with the last of our 3 mounting bolts secure, now we're going to go ahead and tighten those on down. What I've done here is I've attached my 5/32 Allen key here to a little baby ratchet. Alright, that's secure. Check this guy, make sure that's on there good. Yep. Alright, I've taken the negative terminal off of my ATX-20 just for a little bit better clearance. Take that guy, drop him on in there, and now we'll go ahead and get our negative terminal back out. This little guy with its own hex key. And once again, I'm going to take my little hex key ratchety guy. Alright, there we go. My battery tracker is clear. Let's go ahead and swing that latch right on up over there. Got our negative terminal, positive terminal. Alright, there we go. We got our positive terminal on. Now we're going to tighten down the negative terminal again. And making sure the leads for our battery tracker are attached. And once again, we'll use our happy little ratchet guy here. Alrighty. Alright, and now to tighten the negative terminal here. Okie doke, my terminals are nice and secure. Got my positive and my negative over here. Got my negative terminal back on. And we'll tighten this guy with our 13. Alright, now we're going to take our 13 and tighten down the terminals. You might have better luck with a wrench than a ratchet. For situations like this, I have a very low profile special ratchet, where you need to get in between the wall. Okay, now we're going to take our positive terminal. As you can see, the car already woke up. Now the nice thing about these mounts is they're engineered to deal with the strain of being in rally cars and that kind of thing. And our lithium-ion batteries, since they're not a wet battery, they stand up to the vibrations and abuse of racing and rally driving really well. The other thing I've got to do now is figure out what to do with this useless vent tube. But that's for another time. Now the final step here is going to be taking our locking pin and popping that guy right on in there. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. So there you have it. The ATX-20 installed in a Mele design firm bracket. I mean, these things are obsessively engineered and really well built. I mean, they're built to stand up to the abuse of being in a rally car, and likewise, so are our batteries. Since they're not a wet battery, there's no fluid to shake around. And as I mentioned, they can be mounted upside down, backwards, sideways. Sky's the limit, really. So yeah, with everything secured, looks like it's time for us to finish up. Then we'll just take our last little piece of misfit carpet here. That guy goes over that, and... Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and test window up and down speed. right, now we're gonna start, and this is with our AGM original battery. All right, so we're gonna do a test here. We're gonna roll down our window. All right, now we're gonna start. Aside from the usual Miata noises, there, sounds great. So that's it, guys. That's how you can equip pretty much any Miata from 1990 through 2021 with one of our Antigravity batteries, ATX-20 or ATX-30 series batteries. And Mele Design Firm has custom engineered mounts tailored specifically to that battery. And of course, if you want to keep in the OEM case size, we do still have our 51R case size battery. Now that's 1,000 cranking amps, and it's a little bit overkill for this thing, but you do get the cool key fob emergency restart technology. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.